到这里，你们手上应该有2枚幸福了，再加上刚刚那1枚，齐了。
Welcome back, cultivators. Today we dive into one of the most legendary turning points in Swallowed Star. Luo Feng finally joins the Hongmeng League, unlocks the mysterious King armor, and awakens a power so overwhelming it multiplies his strength by 100,000 times. From shocking breakthroughs to treasures hidden deep within the Yanji Continent, this episode has it all. So grab your seat, because Luo Feng's path to invincibility is about to explode before our eyes. Episode 187 of Swallowed Star is an absolute turning point in Luo Feng's journey. Right from the start, we see him stepping into the ranks of the Hongmeng League, a legendary alliance where only the strongest warriors of the universe gather. But joining isn't the only highlight. Luo Feng also obtains the mysterious King armor, and the moment he fuses with it, his strength skyrockets to an unimaginable level, 100,000 times greater than before. This breakthrough doesn't just make him stronger, it awakens his dual King-level combat powers, officially placing Luo Feng in the League of the Invincible. Before this, Luo Feng had already displayed his terrifying might on the extraterritorial battlefield, where he successfully killed a King-level warrior. That victory alone drew the attention of the Hongmeng League, earning him a prestigious invitation. Once inside, Luo Feng begins to understand the true scale of this organization. It isn't just a group of humans, it's a massive alliance led by humanity but composed of countless powerful alien warriors as well. Behind its glittering reputation lies something even more astonishing. The Hongmeng League is controlled by beings at the very peak of existence, immortal kings, universe venerables, and even the fabled lords of the universe. Compared to their dealings, the so-called star auctions that shock the outside world seem like child's play. In the Hongmeng League, ordinary transactions are measured not in millions, but in billions of Hunyuan units. Treasures too rare for currency are bartered directly, and behind the millions of warriors in its ranks lies the survival and growth of humanity and its allies. On paper, humans hold a dominant position. But within the League itself? Things aren't so simple. Even though supreme figures like the Lord of Chaos City and the Lord of Void Gold remain united when it comes to humanity's survival, they still clash fiercely over resources, territory, and influence. Alien races also push hard to expand their share, making Hongmeng City a place where undercurrents of power are always swirling. Luo Feng immediately realizes a harsh truth: the greater the interests, the more ruthless the struggle. For now, he puts these thoughts aside, choosing instead to focus on his cultivation, especially the second layer of the mysterious technique known as the Nameless Secret Codex. Instead of rushing to Hongmeng City right away, Luo Feng stays hidden on Yanji Continent to train. For nearly 3 months, he devotes himself entirely to practice, and at last, he breaks through his second calamity. His genetic level skyrockets, now 6 times that of an ordinary human, and the vitality radiating from his body is so strong that it rivals the bloodlines of the Demon Clan's royal family. With this boost, Luo Feng attempts something even more dangerous, fusing additional blood Luo crystals. He had previously managed to fuse 8, but with his genetic level so greatly improved, he successfully merges the 9th and 10th crystals. This feat makes him one of the extremely rare warriors known as a Black Warrior. But that's not all. Because his original Earthling body is smaller than his beast clone, the blood Luo energy flows through it more smoothly, spreading across every cell. When Luo Feng activates it, his physical strength explodes tenfold, reaching 60 times the power of an ordinary realm master. And when he layers the terrifying beast god transformation on top of that, the number doubles again, blasting him past 120 times the normal realm master level. This kind of power finally meets the conditions to fuse with the King armor. Once equipped, the armor acts as a terrifying amplifier, multiplying his strength by 10,000, instantly pushing Luo Feng to King-level combat strength. This moment is historic. His original Earthling body has now stepped into the King realm, putting him on par with his Golden Horn beast clone. For the first time ever, Luo Feng controls not just 1, but 2 King-level combat powers. His confidence soars. But Luo Feng also understands the reality of King-level battles. These warriors are so tough to kill that fights often end in stalemates. Even his Golden Horn beast clone, equipped with Wuyui wings and protective armor, had only managed to kill a king by burning a Vulcan source crystal worth a staggering 800 million points. The explosive force of that crystal was close to a high-level king's self-destruction. Without the beast's insane defensive power, both sides would have perished together. Because of this, most king-level clashes end with suppression rather than outright killing, and numbers matter. The joint assault of just 2 kings is enough to overwhelm most opponents. Now armed with his twin king-level powers, Luo Feng knows he finally stands among the true heavyweights. Without waiting for his golden horned beast clone to finish its own training, which would take another 30 days, he decides it's time. Luo Feng heads straight for Hongmeng City, teleporting through the virtual universe in his earthling form. When he arrives, he finds himself in a surprisingly modest residence, less than 1,000 square meters in size. Compared to the grand manor he owns at Yuxiang Mountain, this new home feels almost cramped. But Babata quickly informs him that all residences in Hongmeng City are standardized at 3,200 square meters, no exceptions. Another strict rule shocks Luo Feng: combat is absolutely forbidden here. No matter who you are, whether a universe lord or a newly promoted king, everyone's body is automatically restricted to apprentice-level strength. It's impossible to judge someone's true power just by looking at them. Stepping outside, Luo Feng enters a peaceful community lined with houses of varying styles, each identical in size. The streets are alive with beings from across the universe. Some are massive rock creatures, others glowing energy lifeforms, and many strange alien races mingle openly. In one open plaza, hundreds of powerful figures are gathered, chatting and drinking. To Luo Feng's surprise, only 5 of them are humans, the rest are aliens. Despite that, the atmosphere feels friendly, with several aliens warmly greeting Luo Feng as he passes. He smiles, returning their kindness, before making his way toward the small group of human kings. There, he notices their armbands marked with 2-star and 3-star ranks. They exchange introductions, quickly striking up a pleasant conversation. But suddenly, the lively mood changes. A figure clad in white armor and a cold mask steps into view. Only one chilling eye is visible beneath the mask. This is the warrior they call Iceberg. He sits off to the side, drinking alone, his frosty demeanor making him stand out among the crowd. Immediately, whispers, ridicule, and mockery rise against him. Many of the gathered warriors openly sneer, urging him to leave. But Iceberg doesn't flinch. With a voice as cold as his aura, he mutters, "What a bunch of idiots," before turning away and leaving the gathering. Curious, Luo Feng asks his new human companions about this mysterious outcast. They explain that Iceberg belongs to the Knobs tribe, a relatively weak race that has only a single universe venerable to its name. Because Iceberg refuses to bend the knee to the dominant factions within Hongmeng, the major powers have united to boycott him, leaving him isolated. After Luo Feng's first encounter in Hongmeng City, King Muyu gave him some valuable insight. He explained that even inside this grand alliance, factions and conflicts of interest were everywhere. Power struggles never ceased. But because humans were the strongest race in the universe, their kings held far more weight. If Luo Feng rose to king status, no one would dare to openly reject or exclude him. With that, King Muyu led Luo Feng to one of the most awe-inspiring places in the entire city, Yubao Tang, the largest treasure trading hall in Hongmeng. This legendary marketplace, said to be owned by a human hallmaster, was a place where even universe venerables came to shop. The building had 2 grand floors. On the first floor, countless treasures were laid out in neat displays, hundreds of millions of items, each shining with value, with prices ranging from mere millions to hundreds of billions of Hunyuan units. Detailed descriptions accompanied each item, allowing warriors to understand their origins and abilities. King Muyu explained as they walked that the second floor held the truly rare treasures, the kind that couldn't even be measured in currency. Up there, items were so unique and precious they were often bartered instead of bought. But as Luo Feng tried to head upstairs, staff members quickly stopped him, politely informing him that he wasn't qualified. At that moment, an arrogant alien warrior named Wu Lu King walked past and strode up the stairs without hesitation. His attitude radiated superiority, and Luo Feng noticed King Muyu's subtle warning. He whispered that entering the second floor required either reaching 4-star rank or depositing over 100 billion Hunyuan in the bank. Wu Lu King, although an alien, had a teacher who was a 7-star expert with enormous influence, giving him free rein. King Muyu suggested Luo Feng avoid clashing with him. But Luo Feng wasn't the type to be shaken. He simply smirked, seeing through the alien's arrogance, and focused instead on the wonders displayed around him. Even on the first floor, the treasures were staggering. Some of them were rarities so extreme they didn't even appear in the treasury of the Virtual Universe Company. Luo Feng's eyes were particularly drawn to resources that could help his golden horned beast cultivate its self-existing world. Still, What really captured his attention was a massive set of golden battle armor standing 8 meters tall. Its shape instantly reminded Luo Feng of the soldier armor and general armor he had used before. His heart stirred. Could this be the next stage? He leaned closer, carefully studying the armor's appearance and aura. Even though the virtual universe couldn't transmit physical sensations, he could feel its weighty presence. Checking the nearby introduction, Luo Feng's guess was confirmed. This set of armor came from the Yanji clan. It was seized from a supreme king during an ancient battle. Though its original owner had been annihilated by a universe supreme, the armor itself had survived intact, with only 3 tiny cracks to show for it. The blueprint revealed its astonishing properties. The golden armor couldn't change size or merge into the body, but once worn, it could block over 90% of both physical and spiritual attacks simultaneously. Truly terrifying defense. However, the armor also had 3 glaring flaws. Its joints were stiff and slowed movement, it required altering one's divine body form just to wear it, and worst of all, the face was left completely exposed, a fatal weakness. Because of these issues, coupled with its staggering price of 5 billion Han yuan, the armor had remained unsold for ages. King Muyu, seeing Luo Feng's interest, began explaining its bloody history. He told him about the tragic fate of the Black Phoenix King, who once bought this very armor. To counter the exposed face, Black Phoenix King had a custom mask created. But the process of changing his divine body weakened his strength, and in a battle against alien races, he fell, pierced through the very weakness the armor couldn't cover. Cases like his were rare, and over time, the armor developed a cursed reputation. Even though it had been circulated several times, no warrior dared to keep it for long. In fact, Yu Baotang had 3 similar sets of golden armor, and this one was specifically the Black Phoenix King's. Most people dismissed it as worthless, but Luo Feng wasn't like most. Deep in his heart, he was convinced. This wasn't just some failed relic, it was the next stage of the nameless secret codex armor, stronger than both soldier and general armor. The flaws? He believed he could overcome them. And so, his decision was made, he had to buy it. But there was a problem. The price tag was 5 billion Han yuan, and Luo Feng didn't intend to touch the priceless inheritance crystal. Instead, he turned to the spoils he had collected from killing the warriors of the Nasi clan. First, he inquired through the virtual universe company, which offered 7 billion. Then he checked several stores across Hongmeng City, with the best bid being 7.8 billion. Finally, with King Muyu's help, Luo Feng secured a private buyer who paid a whopping 8.6 billion Han yuan. With that, the funds were ready. A day and a half later, Luo Feng returned to Yu Baotang alone. The hall was quiet, with barely any other customers. Without hesitation, he told the attendant that he wanted to purchase the golden armor. The staff were stunned, no one had touched that piece in years. Immediately, the manager, a 3-star blonde woman known as Sanqing King, came to handle the sale personally. She reminded Luo Feng firmly of the armor's flaws, warning him that countless buyers before him had regretted their decision, gaining no benefit. But Luo Feng's mind was made up. He signed the agreement on the spot, paid the 5 billion Han yuan, and even requested that the transaction remain strictly confidential. The deal was done. Yet, word of this purchase could not stay buried. Sanqing King immediately reported it through the virtual universe system to Yu Baotang's true overseer, a universe venerable. The venerable admitted he didn't know the full potential of the armor but revealed something startling. The human leadership had always kept the price fixed at 5 billion Han yuan because they were watching closely. Clearly, there was more to this golden armor than anyone dared to say. At that very moment, far away in the virtual universe, atop Thunder Island, 2 supreme figures were already discussing the news. The Lord of Dragons sat face to face with the Lord of Chaos City. The Dragon Lord revealed that the buyer of the golden armor was none other than his disciple, Luo Feng. Hearing this, the Chaos City Lord's eyes glimmered with interest. Both agreed that Luo Feng, as someone carrying the bloodline of Earth, the inheritance of the Flame God clan, and even tutelage from alien powers, might just be the one capable of fully mastering this legendary armor. Although the Lord of Chaos City was well aware of Luo Feng's rapid growth, he couldn't help but feel a flicker of disappointment when he learned that Luo Feng might be relying on the Flame God clan's golden armor. To him, such armor was useful, but only for short-term boosts in strength. What truly mattered for the future of humanity wasn't an individual warrior's gear, but the ability to mass-produce equipment like this. Especially the Imperial armor, far more advanced than the golden armor. If humanity could ever replicate that, it would elevate their entire race's power. Yet despite countless attempts, even resorting to soul searches, no one had managed to unravel the secrets behind the Yanji clan's armor. Still, the city lord didn't dismiss Luo Feng outright. He made it clear, if Luo Feng could truly unlock the deeper power of this armor, then perhaps it might open up new paths for the human race. But he hoped Luo Feng wouldn't just lean on this external force, limited to the immortal level. Instead, he wanted him to continue forging his own strength, backed by the treasures of the wider universe. Meanwhile, Luo Feng had already purchased the golden armor from the treasure hall, and the deal was set. The armor would be delivered to the barracks within 3 days. Usually, returning from Yanji Continent to human territory would take months, even years, but Luo Feng was in a hurry this time. Not only was he eager to test the armor for himself, but he also had to deliver spoils he had previously sold to several powerful kings in Hongmeng City. With no time to waste, he immediately returned. Thanks to the star-eating grass's teleportation, Luo Feng instantly crossed the vast distance, stepping back into human territory. At the base, the reception staff immediately sensed the overwhelming aura of a king-level existence descending. They received Luo Feng with the utmost respect, bowing before him as an immortal god. The other kings stationed at the base quickly noticed too. More than one sharp gaze landed on him, curious about the silver gleam of his armor, different from the black he had worn before. Luo Feng only chuckled and brushed it off lightly, saying it was just a casual color change. No one pressed further. The very next day, the Virtual Universe Company delivered a space ring containing the golden armor. After confirming his identity, they handed it to him. The moment Luo Feng touched it, he felt a powerful resonance ripple through every cell of his body. This was no ordinary treasure, it was the real thing. Without hesitation, he hurried back to his quarters. There, his golden horned beast clone retreated into the inner world to refine the armor. As the golden armor fused into its chest, a strange mark appeared, the sacred emblem of the Yan God clan's king. It wasn't just armor anymore. This was king armor. But unlocking its full potential wasn't so simple. Even when the golden horned beast unleashed everything, its innate gifts, the terrifying strength of Shui Luo, and the power of the original world, it still couldn't fully activate the king armor. The pressure was immense. Luo Feng was forced to extract the king armor pearl for the time being, choosing instead to let the golden horned beast continue focusing on breaking through the second tribulation of the nameless secret codex. Luo Feng himself returned to the Yanji Continent, where he entered a long period of closed cultivation. He studied the laws of the universe, sharpened his sword techniques under the Mingyu strategy, and pushed himself toward the second tribulation. Years turned into decades. 30 years later, the golden horned beast finally succeeded, passing the second tribulation. Its physical strength skyrocketed to 10,000 times that of a realm lord. At last, the king armor fully awakened. The transformation was unbelievable. With the armor active, the golden horned beast's strength soared to 100,000 times the power of a realm lord, its physical durability rivaling that of peak immortal bodies. Material attacks below that level couldn't even scratch it, and soul attacks below the king level were effortlessly blocked. Even strikes beyond that were weakened by more than 90%. With this, Luo Feng's confidence surged. He no longer feared anyone or anything on the Yanji Continent. By this time, Luo Feng had already spent a staggering 189 years on Yanji Continent. One day, as he lounged lazily on a giant boulder atop a high mountain, Blood Shadow Saber resting by his side, he waited for his old friend King Yechen. Soon enough, Yechen appeared, but this time his expression was unusually cautious. He said he had something important to discuss and asked to move the conversation inside Luo Feng's cave. There, speaking only through secret voice transmission, Yechen revealed the truth. During a fierce battle with an alien king, he had stumbled across something incredible, a sacrificial tower hidden deep underground. According to records left behind, this tower was a massive survival base constructed by the indigenous people of Yanji when they fled. It contained countless treasures, and not even universe lords could easily detect or destroy it. After the fight, Yechen had managed to seize 3-letter tokens, the keys required to enter the sacrificial tower. His opponent had secured the other 3. According to the indigenous design, 6 token holders must approach from 6 different directions simultaneously to open the treasure within. Yechen invited Luo Feng to join this dangerous expedition. He explained that Luo Feng's unmatched speed and agility would be crucial, especially in a place where space could be sealed off. Though the risks were high, since the tower might even have mechanisms to reject outsiders, the potential rewards were far too great to ignore. The value of the treasure, Yechen claimed, could rival the entire wealth of a universe lord. Luo Feng thought it through carefully. With his current strength, survival was no longer a question. Without hesitation, he agreed. Together, they went to recruit another ally, King Husai, a formidable human powerhouse skilled in spatial blockades and brutal assaults. After hearing the details, Husai agreed without the slightest hesitation. The three of them struck a pact. Since Yechen had discovered the tower and held the vital clues, he would claim half the treasure. Luo Feng and Husai would split the remaining half evenly. Confident in their combined strength, and with the aid of Luo Feng's mysterious plant life, they set their sights on the sacrificial tower. And just like that, the next stage of Luo Feng's incredible journey was about to begin. And that wraps up episode 187 of Swallowed Star. With Luo Feng's king armor fully awakened, his power has soared beyond imagination, but the discovery of the sacrifice tower hints at even greater challenges and treasures waiting ahead. Will Luo Feng and his allies claim it, or will enemies snatch it first? Stay tuned for the next episode breakdown, because things are only getting more intense from here. If you enjoyed the recap, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and join me next time as we continue Luo Feng's unstoppable journey through the stars.